at Busan HQ. Today I'm joined by Kath. Kath, for the TBLIs preparing for their first training session, what tips would you give them?
Well, there's quite a lot to think about when you're preparing any kind of event, but particularly for training. And if it's your first one, you really want to kind of try and plan out as much as you can. I have a whole mind map here with things that you want to think about. So we'll start, but really you want to think about kind of where it's going to be. So you want to think about the venue and the facilities within the venue. So and also where the venue is. That can be quite important because you want to project a particular image and a particular level. You're aiming this training at a particular level of person. And it'll be different for different, if you're training students or you're training kids, that's going to be a bit different. But if you're aiming for business people, then you want to have kind of a prestige venue. So I would say maybe be looking at hotels with meeting facilities or business centres with meeting facilities, but again look at the kind of the prestige. When we do our TBLI courses in London, they are held at the Royal Automobile Club in Pall Mall in London, which is a very prestigious private members club. It's a lovely venue, it's very interesting. So think about the type of venue, also the location where it is, because that's going to dictate how easy it is for people to get to. Are there hotels for your delegates to stay at nearby which are affordable, or luxury if that's what you kind of want to suggest to them? Transport links, is there underground bus, train routes, can they get parked? So kind of where your venue is really the first thing to think about. What facilities do they have? Do they have facilities to give you refreshments, for example? Now we would normally do refreshments on arrival, kind of reception, get everybody kind of in the room all in one place, chatting to each other, relaxing a wee bit. And so we would have like tea, coffee and biscuits before the training, like half an hour before the training starts. And then you'll have a mid-morning break, and you'll have an afternoon break, and you'll have a lunch break. So you want to think about whether they can provide teas and coffees, biscuits, whether they can provide catering for lunch, or whether you're going to suggest to your delegates that they go out for lunch. So, these are all things to think about. And when we do it in London, we do suggest that people go out. We have a 2-hour lunch break because we're we're around the corner from Buckingham Palace. So, it's nice for people who don't go to London very often to go visit the area. So be thinking about things like that. And think about when you're booking your training session, and that is specifically in relation to the venue. When I did my own Tony Buzan licensed instructor course, which was in March this year, on the first day of the training, there was a 1 million people protest march in London that went right past the window of our training room. It was political, I'm not going to go there, but there was 1 million people walked past. It took about 4 hours for them to pass our window, and it was quite a sight, but it also meant that when we were trying to get out for lunch, it took us 20 minutes to cross the road and back. So, think about things like that. The next day there was a half marathon. So we really picked the wrong weekend, but it made it interesting. It's a funny story to tell. So have a look and see what else is going on the day that you're planning your training. If you're going to do it at a weekend, look for things like fun runs and half marathons that might be causing problems with transport. And this through the week, if it's a Thursday, just whatever day, just check that there's no local elections or things going on where people are not going to be able to get to your training. If it's holidays, think about if you're in the middle of the school holidays, if any of your delegates have kids, are they going to be able to have childcare to come to your training? So these are all things to kind of think about. There's 1,000,001 things, but these are just a few. Once you're in the venue, you want to think about how you're going to lay out the training area, the classroom, and like you're going to want tables, because this is going to be presumably mind mapping, or it might be memory or speed reading, but majority is going to be mind mapping. You really want to think about the space that you give your trainees, your delegates to work on. So you need space for at least an A3 pad, because that's what you're going to be teaching them to mind map on. And some space either side for a cup of coffee or a glass of water, or pens and things to lie out. And so, you know, if you're using tables facing the front, you might want to have just one person per table, or two if it's a wider table. You might want to have a boardroom set up where you have one great big table and everyone sits round the table. That might be, it depends what the facility is, but that could be rectangular, or it might be a big round table. Round tables are nice for interaction and discussion, but if you're actually teaching, there's going to be times when people need to look at the front at a screen, and a round table, you're going to lose half the table, so you probably don't want a round table. What else have we got? Theatre style. These are the things that venues will talk to you about, these styles. Do you want U-shaped, boardroom, theatre style, round table? And so these are all words that you'll need to be aware of and understand what they mean. So theatre style is, as you would imagine, you're sitting in a theatre, it's you on a seat facing the screen at the front. If you're going to have people mind mapping, that's not ideal. So you don't really want theatre style unless you can also have a table in front of each person. Then it starts to look like a classroom. So, you know, there are things to think about. And the last one I would talk about, which is actually my preferred option, is a U-shape, which is having all the tables kind of round with a gap up the middle, so that if you need to go and help the person at the end of the table, you can walk up the middle and you can lean over, and, you know, you can access everybody, but everybody can still see everyone else, and everyone can still see the screen at the front. So that's the layouts and the venue. And I think, yeah, if you start there, then, you know, you can get your session booked. You can pick your date and not clash with anything. You can pick your location. You can check what facilities they've got, and you know when you're talking to the venue what layout you need them to provide for you.
Definitely, and I think that two of the other things that you need to be aware of when you are booking your venue is, one, do they have disabled access? There will be people out there that want to come on the courses that are in wheelchairs or are hard of hearing and need a hearing loop. So they're two things that you need to think of when booking the venue as well.
That's a great point.